Good evening and welcome to tonight's edition of Minneola Minutes. I'm Ken Rose, your host. Thank you for joining us as we take a closer look at the issues, decisions, and events shaping our community. Tonight, we're going to break down the latest happenings from City Hall, review recent planning and zoning actions, discuss growth and development, and highlight local businesses and community events, and bring you the stories that matter most to the people of Minneola. Whether you're watching us live or catching the replay later, we're glad you're here. This is Minneola Minutes, your city, your voice, your minutes. Let's get started. At Tuesday night's Minneola City Council meeting, there was certainly no shortage of important topics and spirited discussion. The agenda covered everything from a presentation by Taylor Yarkovsky regarding property taxes and how they'll affect city business, to project updates, council conduct, and several issues that generated considerable debate. Among the major items on the agenda was the proclamation reaffirming the City of Minneola's commitment to civility, respectful communication, and constructive public discourse. We'll take a closer look at several project updates, a request for censure, and the discussion surrounding council conduct. Those are some of the key headlines we'll be covering on tonight's edition of Minneola Minutes. Let's begin with one of the evening's most talked about discussions. Vice Mayor Eric Hernandez publicly condemned the actions of Councilman David Yeager during the previous City Council meeting and called upon his fellow council members to join him in asking Mr. Yeager to resign from his appointed position on the City Council. Mayor Pam Service and Councilwoman Debbie Flynn also expressed support for that recommendation. In response, Councilman Yeager asked that Mayor Service, Vice Mayor Hernandez, and Councilwoman Debbie Flynn step down from their positions instead. Councilman Joe Saunders had nothing to add and indicated his support for Mr. Yeager's position by his approach. The exchange really set the tone for one of the most contentious discussions of the evening, highlighting the ongoing divisions within the council and raising broader questions about leadership, accountability, and civility in local government. If you would like to see the events that led to the censure request for yourself, I encourage you to watch the previous Minneola City Council meeting beginning at approximately the 1 hour mark. Watching the discussion firsthand allows everyone to draw their own conclusions based on what occurred. During that meeting, Councilman David Yeager directed personal remarks and attacks towards Councilwoman Debbie Flynn that ultimately became the basis for the request for censure. Later in the meeting, Councilman Joe Saunders had a heated exchange with a Lake County resident who first questioned the source of his information he had presented. During that exchange, Mr. Saunders instructed the speaker to sit down, threw papers on his desk, and stated, "You people in the county think you can come in here and tell the city what to do." In my opinion, the conduct displayed by both council members fell well below the level of professionalism and respect that the citizens of Minneola should expect from their elected and appointed officials. Public officials will inevitably face criticism and difficult questions, but responding with personal attacks or displays of anger does little to build our confidence. Based on what I observed during that meeting, I believe both Councilman Yeager and Councilman Saunders should step down from the City Council. That's only my opinion as a resident and as the host of Minneola Minutes, so I can kind of say what I want. Ultimately, it's up to the citizens of Minneola to evaluate the conduct of their public officials and decide whether it reflects the leadership they expect from those serving their community. Moving on to another discussion and action items from the August 4th Minneola City Council meeting, the council considered two major residential development projects. The first was the preliminary subdivision plat for Sugarloaf Pod A, a proposed development consisting of 770 residential lots on approximately 317 acres. This is located along County Road 455. Following discussion, the council approved the subdivision plat by a 4-1 vote, with Vice Mayor Eric Hernandez casting the only dissenting vote. The second major development item was the preliminary subdivision plat for the Palms of Minneola, a proposed 20-plus unit condominium development located south of Education Avenue and just east of US Highway 27. Once again, the measure passed by a 4-1 vote, with Vice Mayor Hernandez casting the lone vote in opposition. Those were the primary discussion and action items considered by the Minneola City Council during its August 4th meeting. As these projects continue through the development process, Minneola Minutes will keep you informed with updates and explain what these developments could mean for our community. Now let's turn our attention to my favorite department, Monday night's Planning and Zoning Commission meeting, which, if you didn't know already, I was appointed to Planning and Zoning back in November. The agenda this week, thank goodness, was very light, with just 4 discussion and action items and a special presentation. But each of these has the potential to impact the future of our community. The first item was a conditional use permit for Mavis Tire, which is proposing a new location just west of US Highway 27 and south of Vino Road in Minneola. The request would allow the property to be used for tire sales and automotive tire service. After discussion, the Planning and Zoning Commission voted to approve the request. There were a number of additions that we required by the builder that we would like them to take care of prior to further meetings with Planning and Zoning. The next two items involved Ace Hardware, which is planning a new store at the corner of Grassy Lake Road and Citrus Grove Road. The company requested 2 variances. The first was to allow the use of a TPO roofing system. A TPO roofing system has been brought to the city numerous times in the past few years because it is a more popular roofing system nowadays. The second involved a modification to the building's facade design to accommodate product display areas while maintaining an attractive appearance from the public's perspective. Some of you may not know, but the city of Minneola has an ordinance that prevents retail locations from showcasing goods outside of their front doors. It just presents a more cleaner look for the consumer, for the residents. Following discussion, both variances were approved by the commission. The third action item involved a variance request for a residence on Gentle Breeze Drive. The homeowner is seeking approval to construct a screened enclosure at the rear of the property. They're also requesting a hard roof to prevent any further damage to their property from trees and leaves falling. During the review, commissioners raised questions regarding setback requirements and potential stormwater runoff from the proposed roofing structure. The request was approved. However, it's subject to the staff obtaining additional information from the adjacent property owners and verifying that the runoff concerns are adequately addressed. These are some of the behind-the-scenes things that occurred during these types of meetings. The final presentation of the evening came from Commissioner Nicole Martin, who introduced a comprehensive set of recommendations intended to guide future commercial development within the city of Minneola. The proposal is designed to encourage developers to consider future features that better reflect the character and long-term vision of our community. Among the ideas presented were the use of dark sky compliant lighting, the preservation of native vegetation, water conservation practices, and measures to help protect local wildlife and natural habitats. The goal is to establish development standards that not only encourage economic growth, but also preserve the qualities that make Minneola a desirable place to live. Those are really the highlights from the August 3rd Planning and Zoning Commission meeting. As always, Minneola Minutes will continue following these projects and keep you informed as they move through the approval process. Now that we've covered some of the city's current growth and development projects, we're going to shift gears a little bit to our business spotlight and take a look at some exciting new additions to Minneola. Before I go further on that, though, let me say that every resident is welcome to attend planning and zoning meetings, city council meetings, and various workshops that are held throughout the year. They're open to the public, and I'm just an appointed official, but we're always looking for input from our residents to help support us if we have to make changes, revisions, and give us a better guideline for what we see versus what you see. Please come down, sit, listen, speak, bring your information. Well, if you didn't know by now, the biggest business news over the past few weeks has been the opening of the Crooked Can Brewing Company, which this has become Minneola's newest gathering place. This is the largest commercial brewery in Florida. The brewery has already attracted a great crowd and is helping establish a vibrant destination for residents and visitors alike. Joining Crooked Can are several new food vendors if you haven't been there recently, but there's plenty to choose from, great dining options all under one roof. You've got AJ's Pizza, you've got Braza, the Brazilian steakhouse, Pita featuring Mediterranean street food, This Little Piggy Barbecue, and of course, everybody's favorite from Winter Garden and downtown Claremont, Daniel's Cheesesteaks is also in the house, cooking up some fantastic grub to go along with those classic beers. Also joining the growing lineup is Three Little Birds, which opened just a few weeks earlier and has become another welcome addition to Mineola's expanding dining scene. If you haven't had the chance to stop and visit yet, it's definitely worth stopping by. Grab a cold draft beer, enjoy a meal from one of the fantastic restaurants, and experience one of Mineola's newest destinations. It's great to see new businesses investing in our city and giving residents even more reasons to shop, dine, and spend time right here in Minneola. I'm a big proponent of commercial growth within Minneola. We have so many rooftops, yet so little goods and services provided to our residents. And so in the future, I certainly would like to see more commercial development, small local businesses, mom and pops, small franchises, restaurants, banks, things that we need right here in Minneola. We welcome all these businesses to our community and wish them continued success. We're going to take a quick break. Just give me a moment just to hear a few words from one of our sponsors, and I'll be right back shortly.
Market your brand and personalize your message. Brand Squad opens doors to new ideas, helping to grow your business with smarter marketing. Thousands of promotional items, thousands of ideas. Turn prospects into customers with Brand Squad's memorable promotional products. Simple marketing, effective results. We do the thinking. You do the winning. Brand Squad, on point with your promotional products.
Welcome back to the show, Minneola Minutes with the Minuteman. That's me, Ken Rose. Well, it's hard to believe, but summer's coming to a close and it's that time of year again. School will be back in session this coming Monday. With students returning to the classroom, we will once again see increased traffic around our schools and neighborhoods. Please be extra vigilant for children walking or riding to and from schools. You'll see these students on sidewalks with bicycles, scooters, skateboards, and other personal mobility devices as they make their way to class each day. Most of the students are not paying attention to sidewalk safety, traffic lights, and so on. So please slow down, especially in and around school zones. Obey the posted speed limits. Put your phone away. Avoid texting while driving and give yourself a little extra time during your morning and afternoon commute. I know because sometimes I travel right past Lake Minneola High School, or if I hang a quick right, Grassy Lake Elementary School into Mineola's elementary school zone. And I know you have to drive slow, but just take your time. Let students get to work safe. Let students get to school safe, and you yourself get to work safe. To all of our students, teachers, school staff, bus drivers, and parents, we wish you a safe, successful, and exciting school year. We hope it's filled with learning, new friendships, and great memories. From all of us here at Minneola Minutes, have a fantastic school year, stay safe, and we'll see you right here next week. Now, it's time for our Around Town segment. This is where we take a look at what's coming up in and around the city of Minneola. There's plenty happening over the next few weeks, so be sure to mark your calendars. First up, Friday, August 15th, the city will host movie night right at the MAC. This feature is going to be National Treasure, of course, because we're celebrating our 100th anniversary. The movie begins at 8:30 p.m. Grab a blanket or a lawn chair, bring something to drink, bring the family, and enjoy a fun evening under the stars. Looking ahead to September 11th, the city will hold its annual 911 Remembrance Ceremony at 10 a.m. This is an opportunity for our community to come together to honor those lives lost, recognize our first responders, and reflect on a day that changed our nation forever. Be sure to watch the city's announcements for additional details on the location and event information. The city also has several important workshops coming up. These meetings are a great opportunity for residents to help shape the future of our little Minneola. Monday, August 25th, the city will hold a parks workshop where future park improvements and recreational opportunities will be discussed. Then on Monday, September 8th, a cemetery workshop is scheduled to discuss planning and future considerations for the city's cemetery. Both of those workshops, as all workshops, are open to the public, and residents are encouraged to attend, ask questions, and share your input. Community involvement is one of the best ways to guide the future of our city. Those are just a few of the great events happening around town. As always, Minneola Minutes will keep you informed about what's happening in our community so you don't miss a thing. Now it's time for one of my favorite parts of the show. It's called Ask the Minuteman. Tonight, I don't have any questions coming across, and the phone is not ringing. However, if you have a question about city council, planning and zoning, growth and development, local government, or anything happening around Minneola, I'd love to hear from you. You can also use this segment to share upcoming community events, recognize local organizations, promote a fundraiser, or tell us something positive happening right here in our hometown. You can always call in during the show at 407-443-4015, or you can send your questions and comments and event information by email to Ken Rose at 19barbluesentertainment.com. That's the number 19, barbluesentertainment.com. The goal of Ask the Minuteman is simple: to give the community a voice. Whether you have a question that needs answering, an event you'd like to promote, or a good news story that deserves recognition, this is your opportunity to share it with all your neighbors. After all, Minneola Minutes is all about your city, your voice, your minutes. I look forward to hearing from all of you and featuring your questions and community announcements on future shows. Let's keep the conversation going. I can't thank you enough for joining me for tonight's show. I know it's a little bit of a short show, but as the shows grow, we'll invite some guests on board. I'll bring some new material to you. And again, thank you for tuning in tonight, and have a blessed day. Enjoy the rest of your weekend and try to stay out of the rain. Thanks again for stopping by. We'll see you soon.